On a low scale, what are the 5 things that we could do to improve security for that business?
Okay. Well, the number one thing is have a relationship with an IT provider, right? And not just any IT provider. You want somebody that's proactive, right? So you want to look at, even if you are small, 5 people or so, or 10 people, you want to look at somebody that provides a managed, proactive IT service. The days of break fix, responsiveness to issues is really a cause for all this stuff. You want, there's a lot of great things we can do, changing passwords, this, that, and anything, but it's like playing whack-a-mole, right? There's a lot of things that the business owner or operator has to do. Outsource that to a managed service provider, somebody that will come in and say, hey, listen, for this flat fee and these 10, 20, 50 employees you have, we'll manage this per device. And with that, you're going to get the following things. We're going to layer your security. We're going to be responsible for the firewall. We're going to be responsible for updating antivirus and anti-malware software. We're going to create a backup procedure for you. We're going to make it so that your business can survive a mini disaster. But you're not going to get that from an IT guy. You will get a guy who's probably going to be more reactive. Hey, we got a virus on this laptop. Can you clean it? But that's no good. That's just not good. Cybersecurity needs to be a mindset and not a reaction. And that's what it is all too often in the small business space. So, I could tell you some things to do, like coming up with a unique password policy that forces you to change it on a quarterly basis. But in the small business, you're often attaching these cloud services. Everybody's using a Dropbox or this or Google Cloud or whatever, and you've got passwords that aren't synchronized. You may have the same password in your Dropbox account for a year, 2 years, 3 years. They surprisingly, they don't generally force you to change your password too often. And now you have all these different threatscapes that have a password lodged into it. So, you might not find out if Dropbox, and I'm just use that as a name, got hacked and they've got your password that you're using for something else, right? So by going to a managed service provider, they're going to look at the cloud solutions that you're using. They're going to bring them together. They're going to create a single sign-on type of environment that's controlled by a real server, and the kind of do-it-yourself IT doesn't work when you start to expand and you're 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 50 employees. Every person you add on creates like almost an exponential, surface to your threatscape. Let us do the whack-a-mole, right? And then you have accountability. I like to say one throat to choke, right? So I would say that. But to get a little technical, I would say a layered approach to security is the biggest thing. You want to have edge security. You want to have mechanisms in place that would prevent you from getting to bad places on the web, right? You don't want to be able to click on a link and have it bring you to a web server that's infected with some sort of crypto malware, right? Ransomware. And then you want to have a plan, but you want to layer these things like a blanket, and just having antivirus and anti-malware is great, but it's nowhere near enough. You have to have even small micro-businesses need to have a more technical solution these days, because we're all at risk for this, regardless whether we know it or not. So.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you very much, and I want to thank Richard, Steve, Shiraz, Jean Marie, and Bill for sitting on this panel, because I really believe that this level of information, the passion of all of the speakers, and your expertise in a program like this is second to none. And I want to thank everybody for having joined us here today, because it's all about being a resource. You're a resource to the community. The SBDC is a resource to businesses, and my resource partners are resources as well. Greg in the back supports the center and gets out there with all of ADP resources and helps in my new client business clinic, and Bob as well. And the Small Business Development Center is your resource